They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful striving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour.
How often does a series go on for 15 individual seasons? In the age of instant gratification to the detriment of longevity, 15 seasons of intensity, sensationalism, and above all, never say die attitude. So how fitting is it that a series built on grit and determination is being opened in a land known for their grit and determination? The Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour proudly presents the gathering of tweakers, Thunder from Down Under on iRacing Live and the global SimRacing channel. Welcome, race fans, to the GSRC Countdown to Green, to the series that has still got a full 100 sparies attached to it. And I will say here, Drew and Ursum, if you are listening, the SimRacing Observer Countdown to Green doesn't sound too bad of an idea. However, I am your ever-faithful commentary guru from the land of manners, noblemen, and orderly queuing, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind, and the observer of sim racing himself, Jake Sperry, having a concerted look at all those who drive before me. Joining me like the cheese in the middle of the playground from Diary of a Wimpy Kid is Bill Soupzan, the man who is the Scotty Too Hottie to my Rikishi in Sean Crackers Ambrose is in the production truck, pressing buttons to work cameras by the invisible man, Dougie Beard. But Soup, it hasn't been long in MWT standards since we were last at Phillip Island, and if the last season was anything to go by, I think our organisers have picked this circuit to stay on the calendar for a reason.
You know, that's right. Last season champ, Sonny Catch Me If You Can, won a jaw-dropping 10 out of 12 races, but one of those two non-wins came right here when in round 4, when Robert Hartley picked up his first MW career win by besting Stelian Chepelevsky to the checkered flag by, get this, 2 1,000ths of a second. And honestly, finishes like that are more often the case here than not. So let's take a quick look at the track. As you could deduce from the name, Phillip Island, the Grand Prix circuit is on Phillip Island and floats just off the coast of southern Australia. And the track opened there's our map in 1956, and after falling into disrepair twice in 1988, major refurbishments created the modern layout that the drivers will race on today. This is a track that will really separate the good drivers from the great drivers. It has decreasing radius corners all over the place, some off camber bends, and a few really gutsy sweepers that'll put a driver's nerve to the test. This is really 2.7 miles of trademark Australia. Now, if you could ask anything more of this 12-turn course, it would probably be some elevation change. And, well, guess what? It's got that too. Mistakes aplenty will catch many a driver off guard into corners like the Southern Loop and Lukey Heights. But to really get a feel of what it's like to race around this place, let's go ahead and look at our lap guide.
All right, we're in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Phillip Island. As we cross the start-finish line, you'll be approaching Doohan, the first corner, at quite a clip. But unlike most first corners, this is an awkward place to pass. It's an extremely fast turn, and even though the draft can bring you side by side with someone, you'll both be losing a ton of time if you try to stay too wide. Then you've got the difficult curves braking for the Southern Loop. Toss in a crest and a decreasing radius, and you've got one of the most frustrating corners in racing. Impatient drivers are likely to push wide on the exit here. Stoner is up next, and it's a flat-out blast in this little MX-5, but make sure to hug the left side and not track out, because immediately following is your best passing opportunity, Honda Corner. Drivers will need to keep their heads up on lap 1 because things stack up here very quickly. Some dive bombs and some hurt feelings are not uncommon around this hairpin. Then it's time to swing the car to the right and set up for Siberia. It's an uphill bend that includes some camber, so you can definitely carry your momentum around this one if you get the line just right. And it's definitely going to be important to do that, because you won't be lifting for quite a while, and it's uphill along the entire back section of the track. The course is going to snake left and then right through 7 and 8. This is Lukey Heights. It has you climbing, turning, and slowing the car around this fast, blind curve. Then, just as you reach the top, you've got to keep the car left, and the track takes a serious drop right as you're braking. This is the turn 10 hairpin, which is extremely easy to overshoot. As soon as you're done though, the exit leads straight into 11. Hug the curb, and then track out during the short stretch before 12. Hopefully you got yourself a good launch coming out of 10, because you're not lifting all the way until Doohan again. As the car comes over the rise on the final corner, minimize your steering input to maximize your speed and let her drift back across the track before you cross the start-finish line. From there, you finished a lap around Phillip Island.
The GSRC MX-5 having a stretch the proverbial legs in the Australian sunshine. But a new season brings forth new challenges. But I think after last season, Soup, there will be no more bigger challenge than wresting the crown off to the fastest MX-5 driver, pause for dramatic effect and copyright infringement, in the world.
Yep, in season 14, Sonny Ketchen was Hercules. And it's going to take a Herculean effort for anyone to deny the Aussie his 4th crown. The Roland Estonian is known for winning crowns. And of course, I'm talking about Errol Num. He was the season 12 MWT champ, and he has multiple Formula Needle titles driving a Skippy over in the ABL. How about Travis Swenke? He's got 48 career starts in the MWT. His 3rd place finish in the points was his personal best. Now, pundits believe that Richard Worth, now that he's lost the R by his name that stands for rookie, he could improve on his impressive rookie season. Unfortunately, Richard's not here today. Hopefully, he'll return this season for a sophomore campaign. And it's been a long time since the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchey, had an R by his name. Tom is already a Hall of Famer, and with just 12 more starts away from becoming the all-time leader in starts. He currently has 121 of them. Let's move to the AM Championship here. Now, this is where Gianni Quintilier met his self-stated goal of moving up to the MWT Pro class for season 15. He won last season's AM Championship with some great racecraft and an understanding girlfriend who let him secure the title by racing in the season finale on her birthday. Lauren Murray is back, and unlike Quintilier, remains as an amateur. Kip Stevens also stays as an amateur. Now, Hairflick led the standings much of last season. How about Derek Holland? He returns for season 15, looking to make his 59th start today at Phillip Island. Joe McDonald is looking to make his 44th career start. Old McDonald may have a farm. What he doesn't have is a top 10 finish. Watch for him in his familiar Golden Arches machine. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the armada of drivers, we can take down that graphic now, of the armada of drivers from the gatherings of Tweakers as they invade the MWT. At last count, there were 9 of them, with the best of the bunch maybe being Boss Slob, who was promoted mid-season last season from the AMS to the Pro. Okay, I've been talking for a while, lots of words, but in the end, it's only one word to sum up what you need to know for season 15, and that word is Ketchen.
And the word on Ketchen is that he's never, ever won this race. In fact, he's never even been on the top 3 at this event. So in terms of what the story is for Sonny Ketchen, he's got to work hard. Currently position number 3 in qualifying after his opening lap as he makes his way to the line. But titles have changed hands, as have categories. But the one thing that never seems to change is the ability to go to the GSRC well, take a pail of rules, and share them along with everybody, as Sonny Ketchen can't improve.
Man, it seems like I'm doing a lot of talking here in the Countdown to Green. With this being the 15th edition of the MWT, GSRC starts its 11th consecutive season with the MX-5 World Tour broadcast, starting from round 1 of season 5, a race won by GSRC's own Amjad Yaman. which just so happens to be the first ever GSRC broadcasted event. Round 1 of 13, extra rounds this season. We're going to go extra, 13 instead of 12. There are no drop races, so anything that happens on the track matters. Drivers do get the benefit of 3 drop race compensations. If a driver, 3 no-show compensations, let me correct myself there. No drop races, it's no-show compensation. If a driver misses a race, he or she will get compensated with a percentage of that driver's average finish. Setups, oh, they're open. There used to be a fixed setup league, but they switched that over to open setups. That gives an advantage to drivers who have the opportunity to practice a little bit more. We're going 25 laps today. Drivers don't have to worry about being DQ'd for incidents, but there are valuable points to be made for having the best mile per incident rating at the end of the season. And as always, no fast repairs. You break it, you bought it, Jakey.
Oh, you certainly do, as I'm keeping my eye on the 63 machine, Artem Karolski, as he makes his way to line. He can't improve, and that's been the story of so many drivers making this charge all the way to the line. Drivers like Maxime Bristlebois is only P33 with a pro license, but just having a few little misdemeanors as he makes his way out of the final corner onto the Gardner Straight. We'll see what the 666 machine can do. Sign of the devil as he looks to go through 146.8. He can't improve the 146.664. Sometimes the number really is your number when you get right down to it here. It's worth talking about track conditions, though, here today. It's colder. It's partly cloudy. It's 20 in the air. It's 25 on the track. And get this wind here, Soup. It is blowing a hoolie, as the Scots would say. 29 kilometers an hour crosswind.
I don't know what a hoolie is, but that doesn't sound good. You know, you talk about qualifying. Drivers always like to qualify well. Probably less meaningful here at Phillip Island, as this is such a draft track. All you really need to do is stay in the lead train, stay attached to Errol Num, who's sitting on the pole right now, Sonny Ketchen, Robert Hartley, whoever's up there leading the group, and you got a chance to win this thing near the end.
You certainly do. A man who has consistency of being in a lot of MWT seasons is this one in the 13. Dexter Castro, as he headed through the MG hairpin, now heading himself to turn 11 and looking for turn number 12 as well. He's way down the order in position 34 as things stand, and I'm pretty sure Dexter Castro does not want a long day at the office here. We've seen just how good Dexter Castro can be, but we'll see exactly what he can do as our good friend here at GSRC. He looks to cross the line, and he will do himself a 146.5. He moves himself up to position 29, beats out the First Lady of SimRacing in Sarah Dove. Kip Stevens is the only other driver on the lap, but I don't think he will get back in time. So what I will do is take you to the Heusinkveld starting grid. Heusinkveld offers a broad array of products and services, including advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware, and sponsors on practically every major team in sim racing today. If you're looking for an edge in racing, get in touch today at heusinkveld.com. We'll go very quick. We've got a lot to get through. Iru Nom, though, pole position, 145 flat. He's ahead of Robert Hartley in second, with the reigning champion, the 3-time champ, Sonny Ketchen there in third. Gene Fiddis, great qualifying in fourth. Artem Karolski, Travis Schwenke, David Hampson, Brian Holmes in 8th, 9th for Bashlob, and the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchie, rounds out 10.
Stephen Van Astrel and Daniel Hunt. Behind them, the next row is Anwar Barul-Smith and Marco Derricks. Patrick Fliss, the Slovene machine, is back with Derek Nissen outside of him. Chris Daines and Gianni Quintier in 17th and 18th. 19th and 20th is Bambi, Neil Bamber, and Adam McNally.
Mika Eshouse, a former 2-time winner here, is in 21st. Jason Cooper, 22nd. Stefan Overgaard and Peter Van Gool. They round out row 12. Andrew Fawcett and Robert Vita. Adam Delmont, the Count of Del Monte Cristo in 27th with Jerk Willemsen. Dexter Castro and Sarah Dove make 30.
Derek Holland and Max Wright. And Ian Shepherds and Maxime Bourgeois. Bjorn de Schurch and Garth Hickings. Steve Claes and Jeroen Ursum, Ashley Howe, Ludwig Sauer.
Benjamin Fisher makes 41. Kit the Hairflick Stevens 42nd with Jacob Toffs and Franz Janssen. Law Murray and Koyoshi Kelly there 45th, 46th with Joe McDonald, Bob Van Katwijk, and Richard Worth made it just. Woo! But he will start from position 49. So Richard Worth, well, he's got 25 laps to try and make his money's worth right back at him. But this circuit to open out a season, the last time we were here, we had 9 drivers on the final lap, all with a shot of winning. And you will be really shocked to know that one of them was not Sonny Ketchen come the end of that race. Irunon wants to prove that he's still got the bite. Robert Hartley is already a winner here at this track. Sonny Canchin's got to get the bugbear off his back. And watch out for the likes of Gene Fiddis. He always has the potential to surprise. And this is a breakout qualifying decision from the New Zealander. Almost home territory. 2 minutes then put up on the clock. We'll wait for the engine notes to rise then. Here is 25 laps. Get underway at Phillip Island. The MWT starts again for another season. Irunom, not the best of starts though. Here from the front, Robert Hartley able to pull side by side as they head to turn number 1, heading towards the southern loop of turn 2 as well. And you're going to see here, Hartley's going to try and hold the long line on the outside. Not going to quite happen. To the inside goes Artem Karolski on the driver of Gene Fiddis, but you can see the squeeze being applied then as Hartley is pushed to the inside with non-contact though in the middle of the pack. Everybody goes 6s and 7s, and that was Marco Derricks getting involved with another driver there. Not ideal. More drama. Ludwig Sauer off as well.
That's Burrell Smith involved in that one too, as was Stephen Van Ostrel.
Oh, and it's almost like lemmings jumping off a cliff in some stages. Once you get an instant high in the pack, it's so difficult to be spotted, but at the front, it's pretty much all clean and all plain sailing at the moment. Fiddis side by side with Artem Karolski as they make the run to Siberia. This next left-hander out on circuit doesn't work, though, for Fiddis. He'll have to drop the position. Behind that, though, Travis Schwenke keeps the position on David Hampson. Behind that, though, Bash Lob side by side. The Bay State Hammer's not had the best of starts. And look at the Slovene machine, Patrick Fliss, wanting to give a bit of a bump here to Bash Lob here as they make the run to Lukey Heights.
You got to be careful as the front two now start to pull away. That's Numb and Hartley. See if they can get some distance. The good news is they got Sonny Canchin back in there. I expect this train to be about 10 cars long once they all catch back up.
And the issue is, whenever Sonny Canchin's in this train, you have to be worried. We know Sonny Canchin from the front saves fuel and gets himself through pit road and out again better than anybody else in sim racing, anybody else in an MX-5. So Sonny Canchin's the big worry for anybody in this train. Still though, Holmes versus Hampson going on. This one going on here, the 888 against the 16 machine. In fact, I lied here. Against the 888 machine is the 58 as he looks to go on for a little bit of a charge towards turn number 1. In front of that, though, Fiddis is going to come back at Artem Karolski. Can't afford to let Sonny Canchin break away then in this early stage. They already let him have half a second on this opening lap, but no harm or foul. Fiddis knows that he's got to stay in the train in a battle for the race lead.
Yeah, that train beginning to break up a little bit more than I thought. You know, Mika Eshaus is back there struggling in 14th position. He's the two-time winner. We thought he'd be better here. Right now, he's having a hard time staying with the leaders.
Oh, he certainly will. And, well, if your name is Mika Eshaus, he's still done a very good job. He's plus 8 positions on the opening lap alone. Looking in front of him is Chris Daines, who goes side by side with Patrick Fliss on the run into the right-hander then of Honda Corner. Doesn't work out for him. Eshaus not the best of runs off the exit. Still needs to stay within that 1 second window to catch up to Chris Daines in the overall. But you know, apart from that lap 1 incident, we haven't really seen anything else so far. Bash Lob and Tom Ratchie, though, they're still at it, but there's a bridge between the gaps right now, and if your name happens to be David Hampson, Brian Holmes, who is normally one of those drivers up at the front, he's got a lot of work to do to get himself right onto the back of this train. He knows what's expected of him this season.
Yeah, you figure with a field this big, you get a little fender bender like that, all the cars finish, you got to figure yourself, that's a good first lap.
Yeah, it's a very good first lap indeed. Wide line taken from Robert Hartley as he comes out of turn number 11. Looking for turn number 12 on the end of lap number 2 here at Phillip Island as it's still Irunom leading. And this is good strategy play at the moment from Robert Hartley. He doesn't want Irunom to be behind him because if he's at the front of the train, he's saving more fuel. As I say that, though, he's going to go contrary to my opinion because he goes down to the inside at turn number 1. No real opportunities for that position. But look at Canchin. He was thinking about making that move there soon, but he had to back out of it because Irunom was always going to cut across him and shut the door.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the strategy is there. I don't see any point in leading right now. I'm sure that Robert Hartley must have something going on, but I like sitting behind saving some fuel.
That's Brian Holmes off at the southern loop, and that will drop him 2 positions behind Radji and Slob. So Brian Holmes just getting a little bit too greedy on the inside of the curve, pushing a little bit wide there, Soup. That's all it takes.
But a great save in that Eagle Nest Cavern machine there as he keeps that thing going.
And more contact. That's the base lane hammer getting attacked from Schlob as he headed through the right-hander of Honda corner just a couple of corners later and instantly put behind Jason Cooper. That's how long you lose it. Now we've got side-by-side Danes versus Holmes.
Yeah, the hammer got hammered there by Schlob. You really, you look up punt in the encyclopedia, you're going to see a picture of that.
Oh, well, yeah, you certainly will here. It's a side-by-side in front of that as well because Schlob and Patrick Fliss side-by-side through Lukey Heights, and the Slovene machine for Blue Flag Racing makes comfortable work on the run now down towards MG corner. No real chance of losing the position there as it all stacks up in this second pack here that we're trying to see. And what we are going to see here today, Soup, is nobody able to break away here because the draft around this circuit is so powerful. This is one of the highest average top speed circuits in anywhere.
Yeah, if we can go back to look at the driver that I think is in 7th position right now, it's David Hampson. He's kind of in nowhere land. He's about a second behind Schwenke and about almost 3 seconds ahead of Boslav. He is really trying to hang on to the back of the lead train. I think he's losing ground.
Oh, 3 wide into turn number 1. They almost tried to go 4 wide with the driver, Chris Danes, and now Danes pays the price because S-House is going to go to the outside, the Dutchman, to try and make this move. Of course, he did very well. He got 3rd place in the Porsche's top split at the 12 hours at Bathurst when he was joined up with SimRC drivers Christian Koch and Michael Mittner. That's how strong of a driver Mika S-House can be. Now he becomes the man under pressure as the gathering of tweaker man Nick Thyssen wants to try and make the move here on the outside. Heading to that section. No, there's contact. Patrick Fliss is going to go straight on. He collects Schlob and everybody gets away with it just about. But I think Fliss will have a lot of damage.
Yeah. We're going to look at this one as Fliss and Boslav get into it.
Oh, it's a horrible incident. It's a really horrible incident when you see it here, Soup, because, you know, it's never nice getting contact from behind, but into a high braking zone as well. What more can you do that?
And he goes across the grass, and poor Boslav had nowhere to go, as Fliss had nowhere to go. The car was going to go out where it was.
Well, that's always a shame that incident happened, but not ideal for those who want to be in. Let's focus, though, on the leaders here, because now it's Irunom in 3rd, Sonny Kanchan in 2nd position, and instantly, Sonny Kanchan's decided that he's had enough waiting here on lap 4 of the event. To lap 5, he'll go instantly to the inside, which will now turn to the outside on the run to turn number 1. He wants that lead, and when they cross the line here on the Gardner Straight, there will be next to nothing separating them. Get this, the same gap as last time out, 0.02 of a second, but this time not in Robert Hartley's favour. If that was the final lap, Sonny Kanchan would have stolen the race victory, but Sonny Kanchan to the lead here. This is a dangerous game we're playing, Soup.
A good point that Jake did made. There is plenty of time to snipe the victory coming out of that final corner. But yeah, now we have Kanchan out in front. I'm not so sure that anybody's going anywhere right now. Hartley in 3rd, or Hartley in 2nd, Num, Fittis. Now here's a guy in 5th that has really been aggressive. Artem Karlovsky. He's been trying to make a move, but he hasn't been able to make up any ground as he's behind Fittis right now. Fittis making a move, Jake.
Oh, Fittis wants position number 3 on the outside of Honda's. Never the best place to make it happen. He'll pick it up on the exit, though. Small kick right counts to corner. That's turn 5 on circuit. Into 6 of Siberia. They come along. And if you can keep it side by side, you'll have the opportunity to attack later. And Irunom, I think in this situation, has to be careful about playing possum here, Soup, because as we all know, Gene Fittis will take an opportunity that comes his way. But also by the same point, Irunom likes to play outside of the box with strategy, and that may come into play.
How about a shout out again to David Hampson? Remember I said he was in trouble of losing that front train? Well, now the 6-car train has turned to a 7-car train. Hampson has got right back in there as he follows right behind Schwenke. You know what? The front, Jake, while it is exciting up there, it's a lot more aggressive in that second train.
Yeah, and just saying that, Jason Cooper gets a whack from the counter, Del Monte Cristo, Adam Delmont, and Delmont almost getting attacked from Bashlob behind as Stephen Van Opstal looks for an open lane here with Adam McNally just behind the Geordie from Newcastle, looking for an opportunity to find a way through. And well, you'll find a way through, Pet. You'll just have to keep waiting. There's the opportunity as he looks for the outside now, which will go in towards turn number 1, but he's got no draft. He'll pick it up from Bashlob on the exit here, but there's an issue now for Van Opstal. He could get freight trained into turn number 1. Close, but no cigars. For Adam McNally, they all play nicely for now.
This is part of that train that had that bumping that Fliss got set off there. There's
And
more
that's
bumping
Artem
going on.
Kurowski off there for a second. Position number 5. He holds position, but he's really cost Schwenke a chance here. Schwenke goes uber attacking here on the run into Honda and just about makes it stick.
Then he gets a little bit loose and he gets the position. He moves up into 5th. Kowalski, the rookie, back there, but he's not giving up yet through Siberia there, side by side. They got to get this worked out before they get up to Lukey Heights. They're losing ground to the leaders.
Kurowski, status report. You need to think about making the move. He's on the outside for this right-hander. He will give the initiative to Travis Schwenke in the Asbury Motorsports machine. That's not going to help. Defensive line in front from Iru Nom as well will open up the corner maybe a little bit on exit, but Gene Fiddis, no opportunities behind that, though. Kurowski did keep the position. Very good job, but he runs too deep through MG. He'll sacrifice the run all throughout the next 2 corners on the run to turn number 1 here, Sue.
I'm not sure if he took the position or Schwenke decided to give him the position, because Schwenke knew going side by side was not going to work. They were going to lose touch.
And aggressive driving can be very difficult around this circuit. We got a little bit more side-by-side going on, or we did for a moment, as Stefan Overgaard in the 4 wants to get past Maxime Brissabois in front of him. So he looks for the inside. There's just about a gap here that he will try and get through. And I think he's just about managed to make that one stick. And I think he definitely has here on the run to turn number 1. No real opportunities here as Van Opstal and Delmont go side by side into turn number 1, and Delmont holds on. Or does he? Or does he? No, he doesn't. Round you go. Oopsie daisy. Adam Delmont finds tyres.
We'll take a peek at that one. Our director has found it. And there it comes right there. Jake, you saw it. This one, again, aggressive in the second back of the second train.
Yeah, aggressive in the second train, looking for turn number 1. It's almost flat out. It just isn't. And that was the big issue. He headed through 1, started to lose the back end, trying to save it, trying to save it, trying to save it. He didn't have enough time to save it, Soup. And unfortunately, he went spread eagle broadside trying to save that vehicle. It didn't pay out in his favor. Keep an eye on Gene Fiddis, though, again, in the 890 machine. He's been waiting about 3 laps or so to make this move. And if fuel's an issue, then you could start making that pit stop maybe in the next 2 laps or so with traffic ahead.
Yeah, but I don't think Fiddis is fast enough to bail out of this train. He knows he can't run with Nom or Ketchum, so he's going to hang in there. I think the one guy that might want to bail out early would be a fast guy like Ketchum.
Oh, it certainly would, but Sonny Kanchin knows the moment that he gives away that opportunity, they're going to try and work together to get themselves up. They're using the draft to pull themselves along. Fiddis tucked right underneath Iru Nom, who'll be using all of the draft to help to get back to the driver in front of Robert Hartley, who'll be using all of the draft to get back to Sonny Kanchin as they head into turn number 1 once again. Lap 8 of 25 out on circuit. Behind that, though, side by side, Chris Daines, Nick Thyssen going at it, and behind that, S-House in a scrap here with Jason Cooper. Cooper gets the better of S-House through turn number 1. Not over, though, between Daines here and Thyssen. Thyssen stuck on the outside, worries about getting freight trained by Gianni Quintelier, the man who managed to take the amateur title last season, looking for opportunities. Opportunity does not knock yet, though. Cooper's on a charge.
Again, this is what Phillip Island gives you, fighting everywhere all through the field. We're not going to go there. I'm just going to tell you that Bob and Catwick is our hard charger. He is up 17 positions. He's gone from 48 to 31st.
He has, so he is up 17 positions so far as Bob Van Katwijk. He's doing a great job. It all settles out, though, in that second train. Again, though, on that front train, it's a waiting game here. Robert Hartley plays the waiting game with Iru Nom, with Gene Fiddis, Artem Kurowski, Travis Schwenke. David Hampson, though, has to be careful. It was 9/10 of a second the last time they crossed the line. He's got to stay within that 1 second window or hope that some drivers start battling it out with each other here, Sue.
They work around Jacob Toffs there a second ago as he's going to lap down. Yeah, you know what? It's all veterans up there. This is something we saw from Richard Worth last time. There's a bit of a learning curve going on, and that's what Kowalski has to figure out right now. You got to learn the rules of the game to play with the leaders up here. You're not going to go anywhere. You just want to keep in line, put in the miles right now. There's no bonus points for leading laps or leading the most laps in this series. Right now, though, as that said, we maybe have a pass for the lead. Here comes Hartley.
Hartley wants to come straight back at the Australian on home soil, Sonny Kanchin, who wants to break his duck of podiums and, more importantly, his duck of wins. But it's Hartley who goes into the lead, the winner. Last time we were here in the Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour, he takes the lead through 1 and in through 2 as well. But now Irunom can think about being the aggressor. I think Gene Fiddis and Artem Kowalski should think about trying to push them positions forward as well, because, you know, what's the best way to make a statement, Soup, than making some key overtakes on the men who have been making challenges for titles in this series?
Yeah, so I say those positions don't matter at all because they're not going anywhere. When they really matter is when the pit window opens. When you're about to think about pitting, if you can pit a couple spots ahead than you were before the pit stop, you can pick up some time there. So yeah, you'd rather be third into pit lane rather than fifth. So don't be surprised if you see the action pick up a little bit as soon as people start to think about coming in.
That's Jacob Toftoff out on circuit. That's at turn number 4, and I think he's done that to get out of the way of massive amounts of people trying to get through in this second train out on circuit, all the way back behind Danes. And get this one here, Sue. It goes all the way back to Jert Willemsen out on circuit.
Look at Quintelier in this battle, though, right now for 10th position. Careful, boys. He's fighting with, that's Danes.
Oh, and Danes is going to go for the up and under, and Lukey Heights. You're not going to be able to make that one work, but he's got to do it on the outside now when he comes to MG, and he's going to have to try and pinch the man. It doesn't work. If he pulled that off, that was pass of the year so far, Sue.
And again, apologies to the front 7 that are racing for the lead. The action is back here, 10th, 11th, 12th. These guys are really having a good time. And you know what? It's cost them, too. We've lost a few of the drivers. This is the group that had Fliss and Van Opstroom. They've had some issues. Look at S-House in 13th now. S-House is coming.
S-House needs to start working on the train. Disson in front. Cooper, Danes, Quintelier now going to be under pressure. 3 wide. Let's go into turn number 1. Cooper, like a Mini Cooper, found the gap on the inside trying to make it work. Disson tries to the outside. Aero loose. If there's ever such a thing for Jason Cooper through 1, and he still tries for the outside and doesn't quite make it work on Danes. Brilliant stuff from them. Meanwhile, Sonny Kanchin now has the lead.
We're back there. This battle going on for 10th. I'm going to run down who you got as 9th. It's Danes, Cooper, Thyssen, Quintelier in a battle. He's being challenged now by McNally. S-House is in this mix. Castro is there. Bamber. Overgaard. We haven't talked about Stefan Overgaard. The last one, Stephen Van Ostrel is back.
Oh, and on the back of this all is Jert Willemsen. This is stunning pack battling. And you're still seeing the animals Noah's Ark 2 by 2. Danes here with Thyssen. Thyssen with Cooper, sorry. And then you've got McNally and Quintelier. McNally's going to go for the inside here. Quintelier is boxed on the inside there. He's got nowhere to go in this battle as McNally now looks to the outside, which will then turn to the inside when they come to Lukey Heights. Little bit of front to rear contact there. Just a little hello, how are you? And McNally still holding it side by side. Quintelier goes uber wide, gets completely out of the groove.
They are so close together. Look at them come right at you on the screen. One little mistake, and we're going to lose 6, 7, 8 cars.
Oh, you bet we are. So nobody make that mistake as Bamber had a little look to the inside of Van Opstal. Didn't work out for him. Overgaard now will want to get in. Pit stop window open though. Castro dive. Quintelier dives. Good decisions from the pair of them.
Yeah, I got to figure that those guys thought, this is not where I want to be. I can run some faster laps. Let me come in with Dexter. Maybe we can do some leapfrogging. Get away from all this nonsense. Totally different animal you're seeing back there than what we're seeing up front, where it's Kanchin and Hartley and Numb. They race so organized right now. Nice string of cars.
They are racing with their brain. You're looking at the second group, they're racing with their heart. That's why you're seeing them 15 seconds back on your leaders right now after just 11 laps worth of action. Again, defensive and taken from Irunom on the brakes into Honda as Gene Fiddis, again, just looking for, just probing for a move. And Gene Fiddis, not known for making these moves. He needs to think about this. Fiddis has found some pace. He was mid-pack when I joined the series just last season. And you can see just in a season and a half how well he's gone. Suit what you're seeing.
Let's look at Peter Van Gogh for a second. We got a contact way in the back. It's the first thing is Gareth Hicking involved in it as well. Maybe our director can find it. It's one of the few actually car-to-car contacts I've seen so far.
Oh dear, Gareth Hickling will not be happy about that. It was a check up in front from Baz Schlob of all people, into Peter Van Gool. It was Van Gool with nowhere to go, and then Hickling goes for the outside. Oh, wait, Peter Van Gool's not there. No opportunities moving forward. Will there be any takers at the front on lap 11 of this event here from the leading 7? The answer to that one is no. 7 stay out, 7 keep on the train. But again, almost contact there. I believe that was Mika Eshouse and Stephen Van Opstal as Van Opstal gets through Overgaard.
My goodness, back there. If I'm one of the leaders, as you see that lead pack coming underneath us right there, I like Sonny Kitchen right where he is right now. That way he can't fool me.
2 more takers. Jason Cooper down onto the lane. Nick Thyssen down onto the lane, and both of them on the most treacherous pit road in sim racing, apart from maybe Bathurst. Make it nice and safely on. You can't go too wide down on that pit road, though, Soup. That's the danger, though, with the grass on both sides.
No, it's one of the few pit lanes that you actually have to practice coming in on, because you can save some time through the run-up area into the cones. There's a lot of times to be saved. There's a lot of time to be lost there as well, as now the action on pit lane is hectic.
Oh, you bet it is, as there are a lot of takers down onto the lane. So it's going to be a case about where you feed out in comparison. Bashlob's turned another vehicle. This time it's Adam Delmont through turn number 1 for the 2nd consecutive time.
Yeah, it's been a busy day for Baslov. We're looking there at them starting to leave out of pit lane. I believe Nick Thyssen is the lead cars of all the cars who have pitted. Now we're going to go ahead and look at this replay on Delmont.
Well, Adam Delmont really unlucky there. Bashlob was trying to be the aggressor here in this battle through turn number 1. Delmont tries to cut the nose back down, but again, just a little bit of 2 into 1 doesn't go, and Delmont pays the price for the 2nd time at turn number 1. He can't afford to have that happen any further in this event. Of course, instance, while they're not there, you have to be careful about anything that happens. Hartley dives, though. Hartley tries to break it. And look at this just behind. Fiddis is looking for Nom because the gap's been given now to the driver of Sunny Canyon. You got to move.
Oh, Robert's an experienced driver.
Oh, 3 wide.
Here. 3 wide is not what you want to do. You're going to lose touch with the leader. Get that sorted out, boys. This position is not important. What is important is getting in single file and putting some laps. They get it done.
Artem Karolski has seen what has happened and has gone, you know what? I can't sit and wait any further. You've given Sonny Canyon a gap, and even though I'm a rookie, I know how quick Sonny Canyon is. I've got to get on the aggressive factor now. I've got to get up to Sonny Canyon. I've got to keep within 1 second, especially with the hair flick Kip Stevens now on the inside, letting all the traffic through. So now Sonny Canyon's been given a gap. It's now about how these drivers use that gap to get forward. And guess what? Gene Fiddis is still 4th.
Now, let's give Hartley some credit for having confidence. He came in, he qualified 2nd. He might think he can run faster, maybe by himself. He's in clear air, he's in and out. He doesn't have to worry about the nonsense up there. I was a little worried since Hartley came in from 2nd position that it was going to leave a big gap that Ketchum was going to be able to pull away. Looks like, I think, Karolski's going to be able to run him down, I think.
You think, but you don't know. But I think that Karolski is struggling here on this lap. Sonny Canyon had a gap of 9/10 of a second when they last crossed the line. I don't think it will be 9/10 of a second when they next cross the line, such is the gap that Sonny Canyon has over Artem Karolski. I think that gap's now over 1 second for the first time, but there's going to be no chance. 1 dive, 2 dive, 3 dive, 4 dive, 5 dive. Hampson stays out, wants to lead a lap. So David Hampson on the alternative. Everybody hit your lane. Now, everybody look for Robert Hartley. He's had clean air all lap, Soup.
Yeah, but so did Sonny Ketchen. This is going to be a tall order, and we know how fast Ketchen is when it comes not only to being on the track, but putting fuel in the car. Right now, it is Hartley through the MG corner, working through the finals, 11 and 12. Go, Jake.
Oh, that's Karolski missing his box so slightly. That will cost him in the long run here as he looks to make things happen. Canyon now definitely expected to come out first out of the entirety of this train. The question will be, where is Robert Hartley coming out to the final corner? He will have the overspeed heading to turn number 1. Everyone out, and Canyon slow on the stop. Fiddis beats him. Schwenke beats him. Also, Irunon beats him. But look at this. Hartley beats the lot. Sonny Canyon is outside of the top 5 for the first time in a long time. And Karolski now with a shot down the inside at Canyon.
Robert Hartley, I blinked away there. I had a little bit of an internet connection there, but Hartley, am I correct? Is he out?
Karolski's off.
Yep.
Wow, Kowalski off at turn 2, being too aggressive, coming out of pit road. He knew the importance of it. Rookie error.
We're going to look at the replay on the rookie. You saw it, Jake. Tell me what you see here.
He just went too deep into turn number 2. The southern loop is one of the most difficult corners in racing because you take it for granted. There was no contact. He just tried to outbrake Sonny Kanchin, and you can never do that, Soup.
There he goes. Luckily, didn't hit anything. Got it back in. So Hartley out in front by 2. Well, not out in front. I got to apologize. The virtual leader by 2.5 seconds over Errol Num.
In comes David Hampson. He was on the back of this train, remember, and if he can get this right, he could jump Kanchin. He should jump Kowalski. So that's going to be the crucial factor for David Hampson in the 888 machine as he looks to have a great pit stop then. Looks for his box, searches for it. Perfect. Down onto the lane. David Hampson, no, he's not. He's missed his box. The second driver out of the leading train to miss his box. And David Hampson will pay that price dearly for that because he didn't notice it for a couple of seconds. That's going to cost him. Stefan Overgaard is still out on circuit, lap 15 of 25. And you're going to see now, out finally comes David Hampson, but the train will go marching by.
All those guys, Hartley and Gang, their pit stops were all around 15 or 16 seconds. Sonny Kanchin, for once, he got bit by the fuel 20 seconds in his box.
I think he completely messed up on that one, Soup. There's no other words to describe a slow Sonny Kanchin stop. You normally see 14 seconds on the gun, but he was just so slow. It's so surprising to see him so slow in a stop. Now he's got to do all the work. And look at this, though, here. Gene Fiddis has got to start moving. Travis Schwenke just in front, though. And this is where Schwenke comes into play here. Asbury Motorsport machine, they are not akin to helping each other out. And he will do everything to keep Irunom in sight.
Got to give a shout out to our current race leader. I worked with him here in the GSRC broadcast booth a few times. I'm talking about Stefan Overgaard. We haven't heard much from him in a long time. Good to see Stefan back out there leading a lap. He'll be coming in soon, so it's kind of a fool's gold right now, but it's good to see him racing. Right now, second place, Brian Holmes in that Eagle Nest Tavern machine. Let's go back and look at third. Here's a guy making a move. They all have to come in. That's Robert. Oh, look at this. This is Robert Hartley working around Arian Sheppers. That's a legitimate third.
It is a legitimate third. I'm just having a look, though, at Brian Holmes to see why his lap... Oh, there was a spin. So Brian Holmes had a spin on lap 12. That was why he is back where he is. I thought he maybe had a stop and somehow came out in front of everybody else. The answer is no. So I think Brian Holmes has to come in at some stage as well. But this is the big issue here for Irunom. He's not catching these guys in front. Robert Hartley's able to scythe and slice and dice his way through the traffic. Big difference here in terms of the racing acumen.
In fact, let's go to Num right now. He's getting a bump draft from Schwenke. Schwenke is right on his tail, pushing him down into the first corner. Gene Fiddis in that mix as well, and they are 1.5 seconds ahead of Kanchin. Kanchin is doing his very best to catch him. I think Sonny will get there.
Oh, well, Sonny Kanchin, well, he did a 45.1 last time by, 45.2 from Fiddis, 45.2 from Schwenke, 45.6 from Irunom. So you can see the urgency in these drivers, second, third, fourth net out on circuit as they look to try and put themselves in play. The big difference, though, is that there are 3 vehicles in the middle that they have to deal with before Robert Hartley, and that's Fawcett, that's Sherpas, and that is also Brian Holmes as well. So seems that Robert Hartley has himself a gap. He's got to work with it, though. The gap at the front, well, let's put this one now at 3 seconds or so, 3.5 seconds here. So it's looking more and more like Hartley County.
Here's the disadvantage for Hartley. He actually had to get around those guys on the track, and I'm talking about Holmes, Sheppers, and Fawcett. I imagine that those 3 guys are going to be coming in for their stops here anytime, and maybe the guys that are chasing Hartley won't have to get around them.
Maybe that might be the case. Bashlob just behind, trying to have this scrap with Bob Van Katwijk, who is yet to come down onto the lane. Onto the brakes they go, into the right-hander of MG. And, well, no opportunities there for Bashlob to really attack, to really make that move here through turn 10 into turn number 11. Takers on the lane. The answer is going to be both of them will go. Bashlob then will drop back into position, as will Van Katwijk. So they will drop back, Fawcett in, Sheppers in. And I think that Brian Holmes is also in.
That's everybody coming in. Steve Clay's the last one, but I think he'll be coming in as well. So that got through all those guys. So now we have a legitimate leader in Hartley. We can get a legitimate gap back to Errol Num, about 2.2 seconds.
That's closing. That's closing a lot. 45.5 from Irunom, 46.2 from Robert Hartley. If this is Hartley going slow, if this is Hartley dropping back, I don't think he has enough fuel to get to the end. If that's the case, then he wants some drafting partners, but he doesn't want Sonny Kanchin there in position number 5. Irunom is reeling his man in.
Yeah, my dad used to say the hounds are after the hare now, and it won't be long till the chef's cooking up the Heusinkveld. I don't know about Hartley if he is slow or if his pit stop was all that short. It's about the same speed as everybody else. The guy we know has plenty of fuel if his numbers mean anything. That's Sonny Kanchin. He was in there for an eternity.
He was, and he's caught back up to the train. Side by side, too wide, too deep into Honda. S-House is right at the back of this one. Quintelier went after Overgaard. Overgaard will get the run off of the exit. Van Opstal versus Thyssen just in front. Nick Thyssen, the Gathering a Tweaker man, keeps the hold, keeps the position. Just for the moment, Opstal gets a tap on the rear. He gets unsettled, and like a Mini Cooper, Jason Cooper's through. Stefan Overgaard will go underguarding against the driver of Van Opstal. And Quintelier, well, there's no need for puns. He couldn't make the move.
Yeah, it's a little bit...
Quintelier makes contact with S-House, and S-House holds it.
We're going to take a replay of that. This group's a little bit smaller, but the intensity has not lessened for this second group that involves Thyssen and Cooper. As we're looking at the replay, Overgaard. Here you can see the tap that just happened, but they all kept racing.
They all kept racing. It was up here into Lukey Heights. Such a scary place to have a tap like this. And it was just a case, though, of Quintelier trying to be a greedy driver. But, you know, there was not really much room that either of them could go.
That was S-House getting off, and that's not the first time that that S-House has been off track. Boy, he's having a good run. Let's go back live now, and let's go up front, because look what's happened.
Yes, the driver of Hartley's been caught. Down to the inside goes Schwenke, though, wanting the position down the inside. Finnis runs wide as well. So does Irunom. So Sonny Kanchin will move up into position number 4. One position away from his podium duck at the circuit here of Phillip Island. Sonny Kanchin, by far and away, the quickest man in this train as he looks to make up for the mistake of going too long on the lane to come back into this event. Crucially, he's got 7 laps to get there. And if Travis Schwenke is smart here, he understands what's coming up. Hartley has slowed down because he's short on fuel. Keep him out there. He'll run himself out before the end.
These 5 guys have a big cushion. It's 4 seconds back to David Hampson in 6th, who's lost touch with the train. So 5 cars battling for the lead. I expect that to settle down a little bit. So as soon as our director is ready, let's go ahead and pay some bills and go ahead and do our back marker shout out as soon as Jake gives us the okay.
No, not the okay yet, because Robert Hartley's lost the lead. Travis Schwenke now for Asbury Motorsports takes the lead. Hartley in 2nd, Bushfinks, Irunom, 3rd position looking for 2nd, and instantly being bumped off the train again and again. Robert Hartley's got nothing. Kanchin wants to play the game. Kanchin plays the game like Triple H does as he makes the move as well. So Hartley, 1st to 4th in the space of 1 moment. I'm checking for damage. The answer is, there's none, sir.
No, those five cars are going well. The last car on the lead lap, it looks like it's Daniel Hunt. When we do go to our back marker review, let's do that now. Let's go ahead and bring up the graphic. This is brought to us Trips back marker shout out, and it's going to be through the field from reverse order. We're going to start with Daniel Hunt. He is back in 38th position. He's got about 2 seconds before he can catch up to Benjamin Fisher. Fisher's got about 5 seconds before he can get up to the man in 35th position, would be Franz Janssen. Janssen, a rookie. How about this? Joe McDonald in 34th in that familiar Golden Arches machine. He started in 47th. He is up 13 spots. She's doing double duty. I think she raced in the ABL IndyCar League. Sarah Dove here with us today in racing in 33rd. Let's go up a few more. Ashley Howell, haven't heard much from him. He's in a tight battle. This is with Steve Clays and a veteran of the series, Derek Holland, as those 3 drivers race for 30th. Let's go up just a few more and we'll be done. This gets up to Jeroen Ursum in 29th. He's in a 4-car battle with Lauren Murray. In fact, Murray making the move right now on Bjorn de Forsch. And up ahead of those guys in 26, Richard Worth. Rich started at the very back. That back marker working his way through the field. There you have it. Trips, back marker, shout out.
Nom to the lead into turn number 1. Iru Nom, well, we could be heroes just for Nom Day, says Iru Nom. He knows what is needed from him. He takes the lead ahead of Schwenke, ahead of Kanchin. But is that to the detriment? Because now Travis Schwenke knows he's got his teammate as rear gunner back marker fodder. So now Gene Fiddis here in 4th position. I think Gene Fiddis has everything to prove at the back of this train. He's in the catbird seat. He will use everybody else to start scrapping in front, and he will try and take the pickings like a vulture, Soup.
You know, we talk about rookies and what the learning curve. Let's look at the driver in 7th real quick, Artem Kowalski. Remember, he was up there racing with the big boys, but when the pit stops came, the pressure got on. He's now back in 7th. David Hampson racing all by himself in 6th. As those front 5 go together. Then you get back. Let's look at Ben Opstrel. Ben Opstrel being challenged now by Thyssen. This is a battle for 9th position. Actually, 8th position. Ben Opstrel gets that. Oh, boy, look at this, Jake, back here for these guys.
Oh, and Thyssen tries to go through contact. Bottleneck. That was Quintelier and Bamba. And also, I think there was Mika Eshouse in that as well.
Do we have to cover the leaders? I guess we have to, but it's so exciting back there in 9th.
Oh, you wish that you could have more than one camera on this because there's just so much action. More action, though, in the middle of the pack. They're all together here having this scrap. Thyssen, Cooper, Van Opstal as they head to Lukey Heights.
Totally different attitude from these guys the entire race than the leaders. You can tell the guys that have a championship visions in their mind and the guys that are out there just having fun.
Here comes the driver of Sonny Kanchin. He looks for the lead. He's going for the 2-for-1 special here into turn number 1, and he nails it. He utterly nails it here compared to everybody else. He made that move look so good into turn number 1, and that was all Travis Schwenke sitting, waiting, knowing that move could happen.
Yeah, it's not so much that Kanchin is out in front. It's the way he got out in front. Lets you know that he is under control for that car. Battle for 3rd right now. Schwenke being challenged by the New Zealand driver. Look at Gene Fiddis, one of Fiddis' best performances of his career. He's going to try to go around the outside of Honda. That's probably not going to work. Might be able to get a drive off. No, he has to settle for 4th. Watching the whole thing, Robert Hartley.
And Robert Hartley, I don't think, has enough fuel to make it home, so he has to sit and wait. He's got no other alternatives. He's not a factor in this battle at the front 5. So now Sonny Kanchin's out in front. Now he's pushing at a rate that nobody else can. The question becomes, can Iru Nom chase it down? Gene Fiddis again having this little shimmy, having a look here towards Lukey Heights. Not the place you normally make a move. That won't happen just yet, though. Eyes further back, side by side. Cooper again, side by side with Van Opstal into Siberia. And you have to go all the way to Siberia and around the outside to try and make this move. And look at how Cooper holds onto it. Thyssen could make it 3 wide.
No room for Nick there. They got to get this settled before they get up into Lukey Heights. You don't want to be going too wide up there. Cooper out in front. Van Opstal would like to get that. They're not going to do it. They're going to try to go too wide. Oh, boys.
It's close, and they hold it all there as Cooper makes the move. Thyssen will try and go for the dive. That MG won't work there as Van Opstal tries to go around the outside. It doesn't work out for him at this stage to the front of the field, though, because it's still Sonny Kanchin with the driver of Iru Nom in 2nd. And how important would it be for Asbury to go 1-2 with Travis Schwenke trying to take the position away from the Bushfink? That is Iru Nom. As this one, we get this one here, Soup. We're only 4 to go.
Yeah, there are no teams points per se in the MX-5 World Tour, but the teams do exist. And I think Errol Num, racing for Bushfink, knows that he's got a couple Asbury guys out there. I think because of that, Num's going to fight for 2nd a little harder than he normally would. Jake, I think 3rd position is doable. If you can get a good run out of here, you can still snake him out of that final corner out of Swan, but not if you're going against 2 teammates.
Not if you're going against two teammates. On the grass goes Nick Disson as he battles with Chris Daines. Daines, though, will have the outside right now for the very crucial corner of Honda, and that's what Nick Disson has banked on here in this battle going on for the final spot inside of the top 10. He's not got a guarantee. He gives him a hip check through Honda, and he holds the position.
Look how all the drivers get rolled up. Neil Bamber, Vilmanson in that one is next. Brian Holmes, Quintelier. A great job of getting it rolled up from all the drivers. That goes all the way back to Adam McNally in 18th position in that second train.
11-car train for the top 10. Any one of them could get a spot in the top 10. And remember,
I don't think it's not a train. It's a group. It's a swarm.
It's a swarm. Eyes on Gene Fiddis. He's close to the driver of Travis Schwenke. Nom close to the driver of Kanchin, but again, plays the waiting game into turn number 1. 3 laps to go here at Phillip Island, and Sonny Kanchin still holds the lead. We know that he's never had a podium. He's holding the leading position. This is a bogey track for him, and now he has the opportunity to right all the wrongs of his career so far if he can make that happen for him right now. Let's go to Cooper, though. Here's Van Opstal under pressure. The battle for 8th position continues as Cooper looks to go once again to 8th.
And we'll get that in a second. We're there. We got it on our screen. There's Cooper making that move.
Over under. No. No!
He turns
up. Goes Thyssen. Thyssen gets contact from Daines. S-House is caught up. Bamber's caught up. Who else is caught up in this one? The answer is going to be, I believe, that was the driver of Jerp Willemsen. And it had to end in tears the way they were scrapping soup.
Yeah, Mama used to tell me you can only dance the tango in the china shop so long before you break some porcelain, and that's what happened. You knew that eventually something was going to happen here.
Well, here's the replay. It's not pretty. You know, you don't talk about it much, but the dreaded aero loose, you know, net code, you can argue there. Never going to be helping Nick Disson there. No ideals. But we're going to look at the fight at the front, and guess what, Soup? Let's focus on this for the final 2 laps, because when they cross the line, popsicle sticks are in the air.
I'm a little worried for the guys because Ketchen seems to be in such great control. Here comes Num with a run, though. This might be a little bit of reconnaissance racing, or let's see if he wants to lead.
No,
Boy,
he doesn't
seem to be pushing the... No, I think he wants it till next time.
And look at this, it's like Dega in the sense that you look at the driver of Finish trying to push Travis Schwenke into this battle where he doesn't want to be here. And Travis Schwenke, you feel, has to play the aggressor with Irunom, has to unsettle his rhythm. There's nothing else that he can do to help the driver of Sonny Kanchin. We know how much the Asbury likes to help each other. You talk about Richard Losper, you talk about Marcello Pagnan, you talk about the driver of Travis Schwenke, who now becomes the man under pressure here in this battle for position number 3, because Gene Fiddis will go to the same trick book on the outside, and this, I have to feel, is the definition of insanity right now from Fiddis.
Well, Fiddis knows he cannot win from 4th, but he could win from 3rd if he can just get around Schwenke. He's got a good shot at it now through the preferred position. He gets it done through Siberia. Now he can get onto the back of Rum, hang with him, stay close all the way down into the MG corner, make a run out of Swan. Jake, take us home.
Well, we got a lap and a little bit left to go, and Gene Fiddis is positioning himself. Now Robert Hartley wants to position himself, but he's too far back to make the move into Lukey Heights. There is traffic in front. That's the driver of Gareth Hickling, who was involved in an incident earlier on today. Stevens & Co. will not be a factor in the final lap of this race. It's now on Sonny Kanchin. It's now on Iru Nom, and Nom has been struggling through the second half of this circuit to stay with Sonny Kanchin. He needs the best drive, and Hickling, perfect strategy from him. He goes down onto pit road to avoid affecting this battle in any way, shape or form. Kanchin has the gap, but now Gene Fiddis wants to get involved. Now Gene Fiddis wants to catch. Hartley's going to go for the move for position number 4. Defensive block from Iru Nom on the final lap. He wants it all for himself. Too wide they'll go into turn number 1 on the final lap of the event. Behind that, Hartley moves up to position number 4. Kanchin retains for now, but Irunom looked to position himself the best that he possibly could. Get a good run out of turn number 2. He does not get it through the southern loop. And now, Gene Finnis will look to go aggressive. Hartley runs far too wide, though, through the southern loop, pushing too hard. That will allow Schwenke back into the battle for position 4. But for position 2, Gene Finnis will go to the outside here. Kanchin has to go defensive here on this one. Force Gene Finnis to go the long way around. Bump and run from the driver of Irunom. He's not going to let it happen, though. Not this way. Finnis on the inside, though. Here's his opportunity for second. He did it last lap on Schwenke here. He's looking to do it on Irunom here. He gives him a hip check to the mid part of the corner. He steals second position. Still behind that, you got Schwenke against the driver then of what is going to be Robert Hartley, who won the last time we were here. And Irunom's not done. They're done with fighting for the win. It's now a straight-up dogfight for second, unless there's a mistake from Sonny Kanchin. And there's contact, and round goes the driver of Gene Finnis. The podium dashes before his eyes, and that was a shame, a real shame for Gene Finnis, and that will pretty much decide that. And Gene Finnis saw glory, and it went all to his head far too early. Eye to Sonny Kanchin, because the bogey track is gone right now. The driver of Sonny Kanchin rounds the final corner, and now the drive to the line. The question becomes, can Irunom get anywhere near on this run through? The answer will be no. Sonny Kanchin picks up where he left off, and he had to do it the hard way. Kanchin wins at Phillip Island. What more can you say, Soup, after that sensational final lap? And I want you to take this next one, because Holmes is not safe from Cooper.
Holmes has come out of Swan. Cooper with the run. This is what Errol Num wanted to do. This is the position he wanted to be in. He wanted to stake him at the end. Not going to happen right now, as it looks like Holmes is going to come home in 8th. Cooper is going to get 9th. We're going to go back to Boss Slob.
And here's Bob Van Katwijk trying to close down that gap. He's going to be too far away to make that move. So Bob Van Katwijk, good effort here. Here's another one. Lorne Murray and Richard Worth, who started 49th to 49, now looking for position. What is going to be, I only assume, 22 out on circuit. He's trying. He's too far back. Lorne Murray. Great result from him there. He worked hard for that one. He'll take it. Ashley Howell side by side on the line with Max Wright. Here we go. That one hit by, get this, 14,000th Ashley Howell's way. He takes one away. Beautifully done. The last of the drivers will look to go through. But what about this one? Koichi Kelly here, Sue.
And you saw at the top of your screen, Sarah Dove just nipped Dexter Castro there as she came and got that spot for 30th. Got ahead of Castro.
Well, perfect little nick at the end. Koichi Kelly holds on against Benjamin Fisher. Crucial in terms of all of this one. Everybody across the line. So what we're going to do is step aside for just one moment. When we get back, we are going to head ourselves to the Sim Sport News wrap-up show, or as I like to call it, the post-race show. We'll run down the finishing order. We'll talk to some drivers, and then we'll close up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Sim Sports News Wrap-Up. Sim Sport News is the first dedicated sim racing news website that covers all broadcasted series on iRacing. Ran by Jacob Toffs and Gianni Quintelier, the Sim Sport News race team competes on many official iRacing series, as well as the one you've been watching. For more information, go to simsportnews.com. Although I will say only so much, being a competitor and a rival for Sim Sport News with my own website. But that's by the by. What isn't by the by, though, was a sensational race that we had here today at Phillip Island. And, well, the results, the more that things change, the more that some things stay the same. And the duck is over the bogey hole. The bogey course has been beaten. The promoters tried everything to make sure Sonny Catchant wouldn't win. And guess what? He has. He wins by 3.5 tenths of a second from Irunom in second position. Robert Hartley, saving fuel, had the shot to win, but had to save it. Finishes only third. Travis Schwenke in fourth. And Gene Fiddis. Oh, the Gene Genie had a chance, but the Gene Genie couldn't wish for one more wish, which was a victory. He pushed too hard. It was only position number 5. Artem Karolski would steal the position away from David Hampson, 6th and 7th, with Brian Holmes starting in the end where he finished in 8th position, pipping Jason Cooper and Stefan Overgaard in 10th.
Now, I like it. There's an amateur championship and a pro championship. The pros were all 1 through 10. We get down to 11th. That brings up the first of the amateurs, and that is Adam McNally, who comes home ahead of Bambi Neil Bamber in 12th. Here's another amateur from last season. Now he's a pro. Gianni Quintelier in the Baker's Dozen position. Stephen Ben Abstrel behind him. Mikael Eshouse. Well, he came from 21st. He dropped back, picked up 6 spots, ending up in 15th. All ribbons and curls in 16th was Jute de Loop Vilmanson. Boss Slob behind him. Bob Van Ketvik in 17th position. 18th position, let me correct myself, behind Boss Slob. 19th is Nick Thiessen and Arian Sheffers in 20th.
Andrew Fawcett makes up Blackjack, 22nd for Law Murray. Richard Worth, the hard charger of the day, 49th, 23rd. You don't get much better than that. Bjorn de Forge, well, he was not necessarily a Tour de Forge today, in 24th position. Jeroen Ursum finishes home in 25th. Maxime Brisebois in 26th position, with Steve Clays, the Ace of Spades man, in 27th. Derek Holland makes it 28th, with Ashley Howell and Max Wright making 30.
We get down to 31st. These drivers still all on the lead lap. We saw Sarah Dove as she nips Dexter Castro by 0.02 of a second for 31st. Dexter has to settle for 32nd. Daniel Hunt, Joe McDonald go 34th and 35th. 3 drivers after them, Chris Danes, Franz Janssen, and Kiyoshi Kelly. 38th, 39th, and 40th go to Benjamin Fisher, Gareth Hickling, and Kip Hairflick Stevenson.
And now we get to the cars who failed to finish this one. Jacob Toffs 5 laps down. Adam Delmont, the Count of Del Monte Cristo, struggled in the Youth Energy machine. Peter Van Gool, the 420. Well, he's Dutch with 420, which can only imply so many things. He finishes in 43rd today. Marco Derricks in 44th. Patrick Flesch, the Slovene machine, and the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchey, struggled, as did Robert Vita. And then the lap 1 incident, which took out Anwar Baral Smith, who had a lot of hopes going into this one if practice was anything to go by. And Ludwig Sauer rounds out 49 on a sour note indeed. But we have a lot of friends here today who want to be talked to, who want the interview, who want to have this massive conversation. But we have to go to the man who's won. Yet again, Sonny Catchant, the duck is broken. How happy are you to win on home soil? More importantly, Sonny, do you have a copy?
Hi, Jake.
Finally,
yes,
we got you. How important was it here today to win on home soil?
It was beyond anything that I'd want to have important. I think importance just out of the window. The last three times we were here, I was pretty much unlucky to not finish the race even in top 5. So finally, this is my first win here, and I couldn't be happier. And wow, what a race it was! Fantastic, really enjoyed it.
What a race it was indeed as well. It seems that more of the press wants to get involved and have a conversation with you. But more importantly, Sonny, let's talk about those final few laps, because you had what was the uncharacteristic long stop overall, and we know you for being a man who short fills that vehicle better than anybody else can. How on earth did it end up being so long, and how on earth did you put in those lap times of 45 flats?
Well, firstly, I took four laps of extra fuel. That was crazy. It was the first time I did something like that, and I don't know. It must be I was awake all night racing other leagues, and I think it's just one of those moments, the vampire bug. But still, 4 liters extra. That's giving me 4 laps extra in the cooldown, and then that cost me. But I was lucky to get the draft, and so I just put my head down and went for it. It was amazing. I mean, I love that challenge, so I took it.
And also, what's worth talking about, Gene Fiddis, then an honorary member of Asbury Motorsports after that last lap scrap.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna watch it. I don't know what really happened between Dory and I think Gene.
Well, it's certainly going to be very interesting. I was more using it in the positive sense in the battle that he had with Irunom to help you get away. But, you know, you take a victory once again. You're looking to start the season, looking for that 4th crown. Before we let you go, any shout-outs or sponsors to the boys back at Asbury?
Yeah, shout out to Richard Losper. I think he's a bit under the weather. I mean, he's getting well, hopefully. I mean, so a shout out to him. And so I was wearing his paint scheme, Yoda, his favorite, and so I'll just going to give him a shout out, and everyone in the team as well. It was a great day for Asbury Motorsports, and Phillip, thank you everyone, and good to hear you and see you and Sue back in the booth, Jake.
Well, not a worry. Sonny Kanchin once again proves that he is most certainly the man, and well, someone who was almost the man, Soup, was the man who is rolling Estonian.
Arrow, I think it was just going to be you and Sonny racing. I think you had his number. Unfortunately, you had other guys behind you that also wanted to win.
Yeah, I think Sonny slowed down in the last lap, so the Gene was able to get on the side of me, and pretty much that was over for me.
Yeah, once you started racing, Sonny was gone. You like Phillip Island always puts on a great show. I'm not sure if it's a good track for you because it seems to be, well, there are technical sections. Really a draft track, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a draft track, so it's, yeah, I think it's my best finish, so I take it. At least I was on pole, so that was surprising.
Yeah, and with all the close battles going on, you're only one mistake away from not finishing it. Also, well, a win is always nice. A second is good. What's your schedule? Can you make a decent effort here showing up for many of the races?
Yeah, at least it's a much better start to the season than last time. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's very close again in the top.
All right, well, stick close to Sonny. See if you can make this interesting when we get rolling around these final months.
Yeah, I have to say, the last 3 days I was cross-country skiing, so it was really, really hard to use the brake and hold the brake leg up, so it was pain.
Okay. That's a good one. Thanks, Arrow. All right. We'll see. Good luck next time as he's doing some cross-country skiing. Had trouble holding his leg up for the pedals. I like that. Jake, where are we going?
Well, we're going to see Dexter Castro, but of course it was nice to see Irunom is practicing for the next Winter Olympics. It's nice to see him having that push. But Dexter, you know, you're always here. You always find a way to get into one race at some stage. And, well, today, 29th to 32nd, not ideal.
Yeah, and hopefully you can hear my copying machine this time, right?
Yeah, we can hear your copying machine.
Okay, yeah. So basically, yeah. The good news is that I finished not too far off of where I started. The bad news is I was 20 positions up at one point. Basically, I mean, I felt like I played it really well. I nailed the pit strategy. You know, I avoided all the chaos, and I was up in what eventually became the battle for 8th, I think. And then there was just an awkward situation with the car out of the pits. We wound up 3 wide, and then it all went downhill from there.
Guys, I'm going to butt in here because I brought Sarah Dove in here as well. And I'm going to challenge my AJ Foyt, as he mentioned to one of the drivers that was racing for him when one of his drivers got passed by Danica Patrick. He said, "You got passed by a girl. Dexter, you got passed by a girl there on the end. Sarah, nice job nipping Dexter at the line."
Yeah, I didn't expect to because it was quite far back. But I don't know. I guess he just had no fuel or was damaged.
Actually, yeah, I was about 3.5 seconds off pace for most of the second half of the race. I was losing about a second to a second and a half on the front straight.
Sorry, were you able to race in the absolute the IndyCar series? Did they get that in? Did you do the double or not enough time?
Yeah, there was time, but
good.
I did 5 laps and then I crashed.
Oh,
so
bad.
and then in this race, I didn't put enough fuel in and had to pit twice, and then I flew off the track, and not a great day.
All right. Well, we saw you off on Friday. We've seen you Saturday, and then twice here today. So you got a little break. We'll get Dexter out of here on this one. Dexter, the streak continues. That's 15 seasons, 15 starts for you. Nice job.
A lot more than 15 starts, but yes,
oh, yeah.
Thank you.
That's right. At least 1 start per season. Yeah, many more than 15 starts. Good job, guys. We'll look for you down the road.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Sarah Dove and Dexter Castor brought them in together. Thought that might be fun. Jake?
A nice little battle between them, but of course, with all great battles, there is a winner and there is a loser. And our battle with time always means that GSRC will be a loser. So it means that we're going to have to go through our thank yous here. Apologies to Jacob Tofts, who couldn't make it quite into the interview. We're always pressed for time with how many interviews we can get. We'd like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organising this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks also go to Heusinkveld. Affordable simulator software and hardware are thought to be of limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver without having to compromise on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are also able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including a full-fledged cockpit environment with unparalleled realism. Heusinkveld solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in Formula Ford, GP3, GP2, and Formula 1. Now, these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better race car driver and get in touch today. We'd also like to extend our thanks to those at the Gathering of Tweakers and Sim Sports News for sponsoring today's event. Of course, with thanks to the companies, equipment and software that you see on screen right now that we use on our broadcast. And of course, the music that you've heard today on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See for how to contact them on screen.
The Heusinkveld MX-5 World Tour returns in 2 weeks. That's March 3rd from... March 3rd is in 2 weeks, I guess so. From Silverstone, GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope that you join us. Sliding across your screen right now are the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including the list of future broadcasts, you can find that at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Jakey!
Oh yes, and finally, on behalf of the man on my right, Bill Subzan, the man behind our desk, our director, Sean Ambrose, and the man who some say equipped the rockets on Gene Fiddis's MX-5, our camera guru, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank you all for watching. So, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on